Hello everyone, so as you would have just seen by that title sequence, I've been asking about karate films because they are a bit hard to find, and the number one film above all others that everyone says is Kuroobi or Black Belt. It has two different titles, and everyone's like, Kuroobi is the best karate film out there, you can't go wrong with it. It's a few years old now. It came out in 2007, so it's 10 years old, and anyone that does karate and like karate films should probably watch it. It is a good film, but is it as good as everyone made out? No, it's not. It is a good film, but some people are going on like it's the greatest film ever on the Karate Nerds Facebook group or page, and it just isn't. It is not the greatest karate film ever. There's a few bugs I've got with it. They tend to do like flashbacks. Okay, they've got one of the main characters. Hang on, let me just look up his name. Right, one of the characters called Guru. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the actor's name. Yagi. I don't know. I probably butchered that. He's like the good guy in the film. He has some flashbacks. He thinks back to events that's happened, and that's fine. A lot of films have flashbacks. But this film is ridiculous because it will flash back as something that happened literally 5 minutes earlier. You know, it's you've barely moved on in the story from what happened, and then it flashbacks to that scene, and then it does it again, and then again to the same scene, and then you have various other flashbacks to here and there, and it's ridiculous, and it's like it really spoilt it. It's like there's no reason to have that number of flashbacks. It's absurd. None of the other characters really have this. Some of the characters are a bit useless, really. The two main characters is a guy called Guru, who I probably pronounced wrong, and Tekken. And the thing is with these guys, they've both got the same master. There's another guy called Choi as well, but he's a bit inconsequential to the plot. And the master dies for no reason, just because movie. The film says he has to die, so he dies. He's like perfectly fit and healthy 1 minute, and then the next minute he collapses, and then he says his final words of wisdom, then he drops dead. And it's like, why? You know, he was in perfect health. The only reason he died is because the film says that he should die. There's no other reason for it. And it's just like, that's really stupid. There's no need for that. Anyway, so he's basically trying to teach them that, you know, even though you're learning karate, which is obviously punching and kicking, blah, 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 you should never use it for attack, only for defense. And there's loads and loads and loads of martial art films that do that, whether they're karate, kung fu, Muay Thai, or the whole variety of different martial art films all do this, and they all try to teach the same message. And then the Tekken guy, he basically is saying, well, how can you be strong if you don't beat the crap out of everyone? And then Guru, who's a bit of a wet blanket, really, he's at the other extreme, and it's like, no, I mustn't fight anyone, even though he's got better skills than this Tekken guy. And then it's broadly historical. It's vaguely based on some events that happen. Let's just have a look. Alright, so it's set in 1932, and it takes place in, I'm probably going to butcher this again, so every time I look down I'm looking at my laptop. Manchura, I think that's pronounced. Anyway, it's like a Japanese occupier. It's broadly based on history. So the army needs some more soldiers, so then they start taking over all the karate schools, and then Tekken has to train people up, and he goes completely against its teachings. And it's like he wasn't even listening to his teachings in the first place, because you see right from the very beginning he's really aggressive. And it's like only at the end, when I'm going to spoil, I mean, it's a 10-year-old film, so it's not much of a spoiler. He dies, okay? If you haven't seen it, alright, so maybe that was a bit of a spoiler. But there are a hell of a lot of martial art films. I mean, I've got a lot of kung fu films, and they all kind of go along the same line. And the person learns the art, the martial art, and they're aggressive, and the master's like, no, don't be aggressive, be peaceful. And then only when they die or about to die, do they understand. And it's like, oh, I've seen that so many times. I was watching it thinking, I've seen this story before. About the good guy and the bad guy and the guy that goes astray, and it's just no. I mean, I've seen it too many times. It's not original. I've got countless kung fu films with the same storyline. I mean, I was specifically looking for karate. There are some good there is some good karate in it. At one point, you see guy doing Shisoshin kata. I hope I pronounced that correctly, because I always say that name wrong. And I actually really enjoyed that bit, because he's doing the kata. He starts out like so, and then like that, and then like that, like that. And I'm thinking, you know, this is great, because he's doing it exactly the same way that I do it. And you don't actually see to the end of the kata, and I was just thinking, you know, that I really appreciated that scene, because he's really doing a nice kata there, and it's lovely and crisp. But then they cut the film short. They don't even show the whole kata, and it's like, what are you doing? You know, the one bit you're doing some nice kata, and then you don't even show it to the end of the kata, and that was like, really? I mean, I was really appreciating that part of the film, and then you cut it, and then there's other bits that you drag on. And it just, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, most people that do karate probably have seen it. As I said, when I went onto the Facebook page asking for good karate films, so many people suggested that one. They obviously weren't looking at what other people had previously posted. So yeah, it's a good film. If you do karate, it is worth a watch. It's like traditional karate, proper karate, where you're actually fighting, because so many karate styles now are just about competition. And if you watch my channel a lot, you will know that I am not into competition karate at all. It has no appeal to me. I mean, I've got respect for people that do it. I've met people that do it, and they're very good at what they do. It's just not for me. And this film doesn't bother with competition karate. It is just about fighting, which is what I've learned. Although I haven't trained in a while, and obviously my training's going a bit crap at the moment. What they're doing is what I learned. I learned self-defense. I learned to hurt people. Not that I ever would, which is again is what the teaching of this film is. But I don't know, it's not the greatest karate film ever. It really isn't. I think The Karate Kid is probably better, and that's saying something. So yeah, everyone, by me saying it's not the greatest karate film ever, I know that I'm probably going to get a few thumbs downs for this, a few dislikes, based on the amount of people that think it is amazing. But I mean, yeah, it was enjoyable in places. I mean, it's not a bad film, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad film in any way. I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable film, but it's not great. It's not amazing, it's not spectacular, and it's certainly not original. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Black Belt or Kuroobi. So I've got a bunch of other karate-based films coming up, which I have looked up. The next one I'm going to do, let me just have a look. What were these ones people have recommended? Another film that a lot of people recommended was Fighter in the Wind. I've not watched it yet. I'm going to watch that now and then talk about it. So subscribe, press the bell icon so you'll know when that film review comes out. I'm going to edit this video that you're watching and get on and watch Fighter in the Wind and then tell you what I think about it. Alright, I've got lots of other videos on here. I'm not just about karate and I'm not just about films. I'm about pretty much anything I feel like doing. So check out my other videos and I will see you later. Bye.